This is Dom from Blacktoad Studios, and here are my 2,000 points of Necrons. So we have gone with one battalion. The Todak dynasty will be using the rules of the Mefrit dynasty this time here. So essentially, when we're getting closer, the AP gets worse. So, starting at the front here, we have got our Warlord, the Lord at the front here. He has got the Orb of Infinity. He's also a Frowl of the Silent King. So his abilities are slightly enhanced, and he can do another order to fellow Necrons. Next, we have a Chronomancer here with a Veil of Darkness. We then, coming over here, we have the Technomancer with the Canoptic Cloak. And yes, we have got Death himself. His powers will be the Gaze of Death and the Antimatter Meteor. Going behind here, we have got two squads of 10 Tesla Immortals, all ready to put some lightning across to the Eldar. We then move over to a big blob of 20 warriors with Reapers. We have got the Canoptic Reanimator here at the back. Right at the back here, we then move on to our heavy choice, and we've got 3 heavy Scorpec destroyers there. We then come down here, and we have got the Slice and Dice destroyers. So we've got 6 in this squad, 2 with the slightly heavier weapons, and we've got their little Plaz Mighty buddy there to help them out. We've got 5 Death Marks here. And right at the back, we have got 2 Annihilation Barges. So, as you know, we've got 2 relics. We've got 1 detachment, so we are left with 11 command points. Now, let's have a look to see what Daryl was bringing with his Aeldari. Right, so here we are with Daryl's Eldar force. It is very impressive. I think it's the first time we've had him back on the channel since he's had a bit of a revamp on the Eldar, and they are looking particularly stunning. So, Daryl, do you want to run through what you've got? What detachments do we have here?
Absolutely. So I'm running 2 detachments. I've got an Outrider and the Vanguard. So I've got chunking away at those command points already. I'll start with the Outrider.
Yep.
So I've got 2 HQs in the Outrider. I've got the Avatar of Cain here at the front.
Yep.
I've got Baharoth, the Phoenix Lord, hidden away at the back here.
Yep, there we go.
And then the units making up that Outrider are the Swooping Hawks with an Exarch.
Yep.
The 2 Vipers, both armed with shuriken cannons.
Yep.
And then the Wind Riders there as well, the little jet bikes, armed with shuriken cannons.
Very nice.
I've then got my Vanguard, which is comprised of 3 elites.
Okay.
2 Wraith Lords here and here.
Very nice.
And then, as a heavy option as well in this, I've got the Wraith Seer.
Very cool.
I've then got a troop choice option attached to this, which is the Guardians.
Yep.
And they've got the heavy weapons platform with a scatter laser there.
Very nice.
And they're mounted in a Wave Serpent with a twin-linked Bright Lance turret and an underslung shuriken cannon.
Very nice. And who's this at the front here?
This over here is the first HQ of the Vanguard, and this is the Autarch. He's armed with the Fire Saber, a relic, and a Reaper launcher.
Okay, very cool. And then we move along here, and what have we got over here?
So over here is the last unit for the Outrider, the 3rd elite I need, which is the Dire Avengers.
Yep.
And they have an Exarch in there as well, and they are mounted in a Wave Serpent with a twin-linked shuriken cannon, and again an underslung shuriken cannon.
Very nice. And of course, you're from your own custom craft world.
Yeah, so it's a far-flung craft world, and I'm using the Hail of Doom and Masterful Shots as my selections.
Right, okay, and that is very nice. Does the craft world have a name yet?
Haven't thought of a name yet, so if anyone's got any ideas, put them in the comments, that'd be great. It's obviously ice-themed.
Yeah, we can see that, very nicely ice-themed as well. Right, okay, and how many command points do you have left?
So I have paid quite a chunk of command points. Automatically go down to 6, -3 for the Outrider, -3 for the Vanguard. And then I have paid an additional command point while mustering to give the Farseer a Warlord trait as well.
Very nice. Okay, so this is the Eldar Force against the Necrons. A good grudge match. Right, let's have a look at the mission and battlefield. Right, so here we are. Both forces have deployed in this ruined Imperial city. So the story behind this mission is that you'll see along here, you've got some objectives. There's 5 objectives on the battlefield. So 1 in the center, 1 down here, 1 over there, 1 down here, and 1 over there. These are signifying significant parts of the planet's fault lines. Both forces want to control this because within 24 hours there will be a solar eclipse and power will radiate from these points. Obviously, the Eldar want to prevent the Necrons from doing this, and likewise. So, if you are controlling an objective marker in your own deployment during the command phase, you will score 2 points. If you score them if you're holding them in the opponent's or in the center in the command phase, you will score 3 points during the command phase. So both forces have now deployed. The death marks for the Necrons are in reserve. However, over here on this objective, we have got 10 Immortals, an Annihilation Barge. We've got a Satan here with some heavy destroyers back here. Reanimation, the Reanimator there with a big squad of 20 warriors getting ready to charge up the center. Some Scorpion destroyers here in the ruins. So, yeah, getting their blades nice and sharp. A few supporting characters down here. We've got the Annihilation Barge down there. We also have 10 Tesla Immortals. If we go around the other side, we will see that the Avatar has got his retinue of wraiths along here behind this line of sight, blocking terrain, getting ready to do what they need to do. We have, is it Dar Avengers in here with the altar?
Yeah.
In that one there. We have the Guardians in this one. The Swooping Hawks are in reserve. Down here we've got the jet bike contingent here with a couple of Vipers. And yeah, we are holding those objectives there. And that is it for deployment. We're going to have a little dice off here to see who goes first. But as you can see, the battlefield is ready for some action. First time I've played Eldar. And first time Daryl's played Necrons for a while.
Indeed.
Right, so here we go. Let's see who goes first. Come on, Necrons. 4. Number 1 for the Eldar. Right, time for the Necrons to strike back. End of turn 1 movement. Annihilation Barge here is just kind of moved up here, trying to get a bead down the battlefield. We then have the Satan drifting forward silently, doing anti-metameteor onto the Avatar there, doing a couple of wounds, which was very nice. This squad of Immortals have also just moved up onto this objective here. We look across the battlefield and we have the warriors that have advanced, relentless marched, and with the dynastic codes that just moved up there straight onto that objective and should be able to put some shots in with their Reapers against the Craft World units over there. The Reanimator's kind of just hopping along behind. The Technomancer's moved up here. The Chronomancer also has given these guys a 5-up invulnerable for this turn, so hopefully they can survive some of this shuriken fire that's going to come in, potentially obliterate them. The Destroyers here have moved up, and we've just moved out of cover here across, so they've got a few shots they can lay down there. Hopefully with the Warriors there, they can hopefully finish something off. Across on this side as well, the Annihilation Barge, which was here, has drifted across here, put some fires down into the jet bikes there. The Immortals have moved up as well, just slightly, kind of hopefully within range of a few of these jet bikes, but we will see. So that is turn 1 movement for the Necrons. Daryl is fearing what they can do for shooting. He's not, no, shaking his head. So maybe we can prove him wrong. So let's move into turn 1 shooting for Necrons. Okay, so these warriors here have decided to fire into this Wave Serpent here. Daryl is using lightning fast reaction, so it's a -1 to hit. Also, with advance there, so we're hitting on a 5s. We've got 32 shots. I have used Talent for Annihilation and Disintegrator capacitors, so 6s will automatically wound and 6s will cause mortal wounds up to a max of 3. So let's see how many I can get. Right, so here we go. All the dices. Okay, oh well, that's not many. It's one. One mortal wound. Woohoo! And then we've got some others here that we're going to be rolling to see if we can wound as well. So that is already wounded as well. So it's The tank has lost 1 wound already. Got 1 save to do. And then strength 5, toughness 6, is it?
7.
7, okay, so 5s again. Oh my goodness, that is terrible. So you need 2 saves and you've lost 1 wound already.
Okay, so 2 saves, no AP?
No, minus 2 AP.
Minus 2 AP.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a 5-up save on the Wave Serpent for these 2. No.
Okay, so it's lost 3 wounds in total.
Remaining 10 wounds on that Wave Serpent then.
Woohoo! Let's see what else we can fire. Right, so at the end of turn 1 for the Necrons, I'm just saying to Daryl here, it's kind of like a spearhead formation that's kind of formed here. Daryl's got some interesting theories on that. So the Warriors here charge straight into the centre, doing very little damage to anything in front of it. However, the Heavy Destroyers did level 1 of the Wraith Lords there. Other little bits of fire came in, either from the Satan or from the Annihilation Barge, kind of picking off a couple of little wounds here and there. The Outriders on this side have fallen, however the Vipers still remain. So Daryl's got some firepower still on that corner, which is I'm not looking forward to. Down here, Necrons are still on our objectives. We've still got some reserves back here. We've got the Death Marks in reserve, so it's going to be interesting. Let's have a look what the Sneaky Craft World Elder can do in their turn 1. It's a turn 1 for the Elder in the movement phase. So over here, the Dire Avengers dismounted from their Wave Serpent here and have just moved up into the centre to put some horrible shuriken catapult shots into the Warriors. The Wave Serpent then has moved over here onto this objective because it has been abandoned. Tactically apparently by this Wraith Lord down here, which is moving towards the Satan and the Immortals. The Avatar has gone off into the centre with the Wraith Seer. We've also got the Dire Avengers, the Guardians who have dismounted there. So a general advance here by the Craft World. They're really going for the centre point. Obviously, it must have some sort of significance for the Elder forces there. But yeah, as we said, it's 3 victory points if you're holding that point there. And the Vipers here are moving through this ruin to put some firepower down on the Annihilation Barge and the Immortals. Interesting stuff. So let's move into turn 1 Psychic for the Eldar. To end of turn 1 Psychic for the Elder here. So we had a smite going off from the Wraithseer here, killing off 2 of the warriors there. We then had the Farseer on Jetbike doing Guide and Doom onto the Dire Avengers. Then playing a stratagem to do another Psychic ability, and another Smite was cast on them. It was a Super Smite. Daryl traded a dice in there to get a Super Smite, and 5 more warriors fell. Ouch. So 7 warriors have fallen, leaving only 13 in the centre. Can they hold out against a barrage of Dire Avengers and Guardians? We'll find out as we move into turn 1 for the Eldar. Right, so end of turn 1 shooting for the Elder. And it was brutal. In the centre here, we saw the buffs that the Dire Avengers had, as well as the traits this Craft World have that Daryl's given them. There were 6s, more 6s, 6s giving 6s with AP. Rerolling. Oh my goodness. And obliterated the warriors that remain there. The Guardians then fired upon the Technomancer, making very short work of him. The heavy firepower coming in from the other remaining vehicles back here, and the Wraithseer there. Decided then to pick on the Destroyers, taking 2 of the 3 out there. The Reanimator took a couple of little hits, but he kind of got away with it, kind of pretty easy in comparison to the other stuff that was going on. Over here we had the Vipers coming in with their firepower as it kind of came down and destroyed the Annihilation Barge over here. It was a very brutal turn for the Necrons. Over here, the Wraith Lord here, as well as the armoured support at the rear, put fire into Satan. Satan got away with it scot-free. Annihilation Barge, however, took 4 wounds. So pretty brutal stuff. And now Daryl's telling me there's an assault phase as well that I've got to deal with. I'm going to guess it's going to happen here.
I didn't even make a tactical blunder. I left my my Autarch in the Wave Serpent.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so the Autarch was left in the Wave Serpent, which wasn't great. But yeah, fun and games. So let's move into assault turn 1. In the assault phase here, the Avatar decided why not, wanted to do an attempted charge on the Reanimator. We overwatched, and in fact, we did cause 1 wound on the Avatar, and then Daryl fumbled, and the Avatar's remained where he is. What a shame. So, that's it. Let's move into Necrons, turn 2. Movement turn 2 for the Necrons. So the Satan has moved up here. He's moving up across the battlefield. He's tried to do his Satan powers. Both failed, unfortunately. One targeting here. Gaze of Death was targeting the Wraith Lord there. Antimatter Meteor was going to be targeting the Wave Serpent there. Did nothing. Death Marks have jumped down here. They're going to be picking some shots here into the Wraith Lord, as he's the most obvious one, or maybe even the Avatar, actually. The Immortals still on the objective, just moved up. Hopefully get some Tesla with AP onto that guy there. We had to use our Veil of Darkness over here on this squad of destroyers. The Reanimators moved up there, just to put a bit of support in as well. Chronomancer's using his ability there to reroll charges and to give them a 5-up and vulnerable, because they're probably going to need it. This is really a hinge point here. If this fails, it's all downhill from Necrons. Fingers crossed. Down here, the Destroyer and the Lord are just having a little catch-up behind this container here. Immortals are holding their ground over here. They're going to be pumping some shots down towards the Vipers there. So, that is the end of movement. Let's hope something happens in the shooting phase. Turn 2 for Necrons shooting coming right up. Right, so end of turn 2 shooting for the Necrons. So the death marks down here, they thought, you know, we are assassins and marksmen. So they decided to fire some shots off into the Avatar down here and did 1 wound on him, which was a bit tragic, to be honest. Down here, the Immortals and the Annihilation Barge here destroyed the Wraith Lord, which was kind of lurking in those ruins. It's going to be a bit of an obstacle. Across the field as well, we had this destroyer down here, and we had this squad of Immortals here firing into the Vipers, knocking out one of the Vipers there as well. And that was it, really. A couple of other shots went wild. So we're now going to go into assault phase, and hopefully this works. But we're going to be charging them into the Dire Avengers and the Guardians. We're going to slice and dice. Right, let's find out if we can do it.
So far, for the first 50, I re-roll.
Okay, so Daryl is currently doing Overwatch. How many shots have you got with these Dire Avengers?
So 30 shots, because they're assault free each.
Yep.
I've just rolled the first 15, got nothing, but they still have guide on them, so I'm about to re-roll it.
Yeah, so first 15 failed, but re-rolling the first 15.
Okay, we've got a few. Okay, we've got a 5 in there.
5 6s have hit so far, and they automatically wound.
Yep, so now I do the next 15.
Okay. Here we go.
6, 7, 8.
Yep.
And now I re-roll those that missed because of the guide.
Yep. And another one there.
9.
9. Okay, so these automatically wound. What's the AP on these?
Oof, well, Avenger Shuriken catapults are now -2, but with the Shuriken ability, it gives them an additional -2, so it's -4 AP.
Yikes. Okay, well, luckily, I did give these destroyers a 5-up invuln. So here we go. That didn't really pay off at all, did it? Right, so how many have failed there? 7 fails. Yikes, that's pretty nasty. So that's 2 dead. Right, ouch. Okay, and let's see if we can make the charge. Okay, so we need a 9, re-rolling. Oh, thank goodness for that. Right, okay, let's move into assault. Turn to assault for the Necrons. Charged in here, took a bit of damage through Overwatch, as we saw. 2 failed and died. Charged into the Dire Avengers, killing off 7 in total. That's including morale. A couple of Guardians fell as well, but they're still holding their own. 2 wounds were dealt back to the destroyers, so they've kind of pushed it into the centre there. And over on this side, we had the Satan charging into the Wave Serpent here, destroying the Wave Serpent, and then consolidating into the Autarch. The Autarch then fought back with its blade and dealt 1 wound back to the Satan, and that was it. So an interesting looking battlefield as we now go into Eldar turn 2. Right, so here we go. We've got the start of turn 2 movement for the Eldar. The Wraithseer here has come round to support the Olkark, who has fallen out of combat with the Satan, although Daryl has used Fire and Fade?
Feigned Retreat.
Feigned Retreat, sorry, Feigned Retreat. So it means he can shoot now after he's fallen back. We look over at the centre here, and yeah, the Avatar's moving a bit closer to the Reanimator, maybe knowing that the Reanimator can hurt it, because he might be the only model in the game the Reanimator can hurt. Combat continues in the centre. Got a bit more fire in here. The Viper's to come round onto this flank. Probably just put a bit more fire in, see what he can do. And over there, the tank has remained on the objective. At the beginning of turn 2, we have 5 victory points at Eldar, so that's 1 victory point ahead. And oh, actually, one more thing. Over here, the Swooping Hawks have swooped in and have just come in on the backfield to probably assault this objective held by the Immortals at the moment. So that's what's going on. Let's see what happens in the Psychic and Shooting turn 2. Turn 2, Psychic and Shooting for the Eldar. So over here, the Swooping Hawks came in and they killed off 6 of the Immortals. Battle focused an inch. So they're still off of this objective. So it's still held by the Necron forces. In the centre, everything with a gun that could fired into the Reanimator and eventually killed it. It did do a cheeky little command reroll, trying to keep it in the game. However, he has now fallen. So as we come across the battlefield as well, in the psychic phase, it didn't really go too well for the Eldar, really. We took 1 wound for a smite. We took 3 wounds for the shooting from the warps here. And that was it. So he's sitting on 4 wounds at the moment. He can't die this turn, but who knows what will happen in the future. And that was pretty much it for the Eldar. So still quite good. Still removing units and models from the board. Unfortunately, though, for Daryl, not as many as he'd hoped. So let's move into turn 2 assault for the Eldar. Right, so end of turn 2 assault. So over here, the Wraithseer charged in, fumbled everything, unfortunately, for Daryl, and yeah, got butchered. I can't remember anyway, like 16 wounds. It was horrible. Yes. Over here, the Avatar charged into the Scorpic Destroyers with the Farseer as well. First attacking with the Avatar and killing off 2 of the Destroyers. Destroyers then interrupted. And didn't kill any of the Dire Avengers. That's 5 up saves are very handy. And did a couple of wounds to the Farseer. The Farseer then poked 2 of them to death. And the Dire Avengers there weren't able to do anything. So still enough for the Destroyers to be hanging around, but I don't really fancy their chances. And that was it, unfortunately. So we're going to move in now to turn 3 for the Necrons. Turn 3 movement for the Necrons. Beginning of turn, we have scored 4 points for holding all the objectives in our deployment zone. However, this was contested by an All-Arch over here, and the middle obviously was contested by his army. However, the Deathmarks have advanced around the corner. They are jumped on here. Hopefully, some firepower from the Annihilation Barge may do something to this guy over here. The Satan has moved up. He has done Gaze of Death on the Dire Avengers down there. He also tried Antimatter Meteor on there and got a 1. Rubbish. Over here, the Annihilation Barge is just sitting on the objective and able to shoot down the field. Here, the Immortals are able to reroll 1s, thanks to the Lord here giving them his will. The Scorpic Destroyer that was there has fallen back out there, so it kind of opens these guys up to a bit of abuse. The Destroyer's poked his head up here, so he's got to shoot down the field. Hopefully he can get some nice shots off. We will see. The Technomancer, what's it called? The Cryptomancer has moved over here into cover after most of the Scorpics died. And the Immortals over here have just flung themselves around to put some fire into the Swooping Hawks. I don't know if that's enough, but hopefully it will make them bleed a little bit. So, that's it. Let's see what we can do in turn 3, shooting for the Necrons. Right, so shooting phase, turn 3. So over here, the Immortals did a bit of damage over here, killing off 3 of the Swooping Hawks and doing 1 wound there. Not great, but then again, you know, they might assault because they might be able to do a bit more damage in combat. They've got a couple more attacks. Over here, the Heavy Destroyer fired off his main weapon in here. Potentially going to be doing a lot of damage. Unfortunately, someone passed their invulnerable save and did nothing. The Immortals split their fire, 3 firing into Guardians and the others firing into the Avatar. And they did 1 wound to the Avatar, the Immortals, and killed off 3 Guardians over there.
Indeed.
The Annihilation Barge ripped through the building, knocking this Autarch down to 2 wounds. He's still there. We're going to have to deal with him, unfortunately. And that was it for the shooting. So not great. Did a few little wounds, but nothing, unfortunately, particularly substantial. So let's move into Assault. And hopefully we can teach these filthy Eldar how we do things. End of turn 3 assault for the Necrons. So the Immortals charged in here, did 1 wound to the Avatar. The Satan also charged in, did multi-charge on the Dire Avengers and the Avatar. Did some damage on the Avatar and took out 1 of the Dire Avengers. The Dire Avenger there then fought back and did 1 mortal wound to the Satan. So yeah, not great. However, it looks like the Necrons are going to be holding that objective now. The Guardians are just out of range, and these guys do have objective secure, so we should be all right there. Over on this side of the battlefield, the Swooping Hawks, we charged in. We did take a lot of damage from Bahara. Is that his name? Baroff. Yeah, he did a fair bit of damage. However, the Immortals held their own and reduced that score down to 1. So that's pretty nifty. And that was really all the assault that went on. So it's going to be an interesting turn 3 for Daryl and his Eldar forces. Let's see what he can do. Right, so beginning of turn 3 for the Eldar, and they have gained 2 points. They were still sitting on this objective over here. Unfortunately, though, the Necrons have contested this one over here, and they are currently contesting the middle here. So in the middle, the Farseer has flown over here. The Guardians have pushed up slightly. The Dire Avenger and the Avatar both fallen out of combat. However, the Avatar has used feigning retreat, so he has fallen out, and he's going to be able to charge in the subsequent assault phase. Across here, similar story. The Swooping Hawks have fallen out of combat and gone on to the objective behind the Necrons. And finally, over here, the Viper down here has pushed across the battlefield as well to put some fire into the death marks there. So that is everything the Eldar have done. They're kind of trying to reclaim lost ground, as per the Eldar way. And let's see what they can do in Psychic and Shooting, turn 3. So end of turn 3. So Baharov killed off the 2 Immortals here, then battle focused across the battlefield, down across here, because they need backup. Because everything here, everything that could, that tank over there, the Viper over there, the Guardians here, the Farseer there, even the Avatar decided to shoot, fired it here, and unfortunately did 0 wounds on the Nightbringer. We did get a super smite off here, going off, killing off quite a few of the Immortals, and so there's only 2 left on that objective there. Down here, the Autarch down here decided to use its attacks, did nothing to the death marks there. So, not great for Daryl. We're going to move in now to Assault to see if the Eldar can turn it round. End of turn 3 assault for the Eldar. So the Autarch charged in here, killing off 2 of death marks. Unfortunately, 1 reanimated. Then we fought back and did 1 wound left, 1 wound to him. So he's got 1 left. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Moving over here, you can see like the Farseer charged in here and did nothing to the Immortals. However, the Immortals fought back and did 1 wound back to the Farseer there. So really not much happened in the assault. A bit more damage to the Eldar side than the Necron. So we're going to move in now to turn 4 for the Necrons. Right, so beginning of turn 4 for the Necrons. Unfortunately, we've only scored 2 points. Mainly down to what this guy's been doing over here. He's holding his objectives. We can't do anything about that. However, the Necrons are still holding this friendly objective down here. During the command phase, we did reanimate an extra 1 of the destroyers using the Orb of Infinity. We also have given these guys a 5-up save. The Annihilation Barge is moved up towards the centre here to hopefully spray some fire down. The Satan, though, has used both his abilities and taken out the Avatar at long last. The Avatar has fallen. There is only 1 Star God, and he has taken out the filthy Avatar of Cane. Down here, the death marks have remained in combat. However, the Scorpic Destroyer that was lurking in the ruins has now reappeared to face off against the old cart down here. Or maybe against that. Probably against him. Right, so that's the movement phase. Let's see what we can do in shooting phase and hopefully kill a few more of these filthy Craftworld Eldar. Right, end of turn 4 shooting. Not much shooting going on. The Annihilation Barge fired into these Guardians down here, initially killing all of them. Daryl's used 2 dice from his Strands of Fate to keep 2 on the battlefield. Down here, both the Heavy Destroyers fired down into the Swooping Hawk, just knock him off this objective, and luckily he has gone. But that is all the shooting. Most of my stuff's in combat, unfortunately. So let's move into turn 4 assault for the Necrons. Right, so end of turn 4 assault for the Necrons. So over here, the Scorpic Destroyer just charging out and just decapitated the HQ that was sitting on this objective. So they claimed it for the Necron dynasty. Over here, the Satan charged into the Guardians, killing the 2 remaining Guardians. The Destroyers, the Annihilation Barge, were attacking this Farseer. Farseer killed off one of the Immortals. However, it wasn't enough, and he was brought down by the Necron forces there. So very devastating hits for the Eldar forces. We're going to move in now to turn 4 for the Eldar, see what they can do. So turn 4 for the Eldar. They have claimed 2 victory points to start with, because this Wave Serpent at the back is just still sitting at objective. However, there's not many forces left for the Eldar. The Viper here just jumped out of combat and now on that objective there. More of a defiant act, I think, at this point. Over in the centre, however, we have got Baharath has kind of come in here, probably facing off against that Satan, and the last remaining Dire Avenger is there. He has come forward as well to face off against the Necrons. They are hated foes. So let's have a look to see what the Eldar can do in their turn 4 shooting. Okay, turn 4 shooting for Eldar, and yeah, not much really happened, to be honest. The Immortals have fallen here. They took a bit of firepower from everyone. We had Mr. Wings firing into the Satan, didn't do anything, and then battle focused across the field, back down here, where in his little safe area, so he's just hiding down here for now. And that's it really for the Eldar. So we're going to move on to turn 5 for the Necrons. Turn 5 movement for the Necrons. So at the beginning of turn, Daryl very cleverly contested most of my objectives. So I only actually scored 2 points, which is back from the Lord back here with the Cryptomancer. So these are a bit of a pain. Death Mark's going to hold out where they are because actually they're snipers and there's not many infantry models left on the board. However, there is one in particular, which is this little Dire Avenger down here. So they're going to pop some sniper shots in here. Failing that, there is a Scorpic Destroyer that has done quite well for himself. That's kind of looking here. Satan has moved up with the Destroyers to go against this Grav tank here. It's done a few mortal wounds already. Destroyers are there just in case, but Satan is there. Down here, the Annihilation Barge just cruised through. And it's got a bead just about on this guy here. So it's a -1 to hit because he's firing through the terrain. So let's see what we can do. So let's move on to turn 5 shooting for Necrons. Turn 5 shooting for the Necrons. Down here, the 3 death marks fired off into the Dire Avenger down here, getting 2 6s followed by 2 6s. Yeah. Not a chance. He's gone. The heavy destroyers fired off into the tank over there, destroying it, but not blowing it up because they know what they're doing. Over in the corner, however, the Annihilation Barge fired over there into the remaining Eldar model there, doing 1 wound. He's still there. So the only thing left to do is an assault, which we will do on camera because why wouldn't we? So measured as a 10-inch charge. Can we do it? Oh, a 9. These are my command points. We can get a 10. No, nothing there. So, no. Daryl looking to see if he can reclaim a command point. Unfortunately, that's it. So, we're just going to turn 5 and see what the score is for the Eldar. So, turn 5 for the Eldar. And over here, thanks to this guy here, they have scored another 3 points because they're on their objective. However, the Viper across the battlefield, if we go across this ruined cityscape, Necron bodies disappearing. A few Eldar bodies kind of ripped and torn, slowly falling apart. But
Spirit
this
Stone's being reclaimed here. Come on.
yeah, being claimed by the Necrons. And the Viper still holding out there. So, we've decided to call it there because Daryl really, to be fair, can't do much at this point. We've just worked it out that it is a draw. The final score is 12-12. However, if it was to continue, it probably would fall to the Necrons. However, it's been a very, very tough game. Daryl, do you have a model of the match?
Ooh, I think Baharov is been really good. I definitely misused him. I should have kept him over there to score me some additional points. It was just the avatar. He's still very cool. I wish he did a little bit better, but he's still just a cool looking model for me.
Yeah, the avatar was very intimidating. He did a fair bit of damage throughout the game, really. For myself, it's going to have to be the Nightbringer. Like, he's done a lot. He's a lot of points. But like I said, once I knew Daryl was going to be bringing the avatar, I naturally had to bring a Satan because it's an epic fight off monster versus monster. So yes, I hope you've all enjoyed this game. I definitely have. It's had its ups and downs. It looked like the Eldar were going to claim it early on, but Necrons have just kind of held in there and persevered. So this is Dom from Black Toe Studios. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care.